Hi guys!
How's it going?
It's Erin and Alyssa, and we are here with our first story video because Alyssa really wants to do those.
Because I think they're interesting and fun, and it's a way for our viewers
To get to know us.
to get to know us, I guess, if we
Sure, why not?
really have any viewers. Anyway,
So today's story time is embarrassing moments.
embarrassing moments. Moments that were embarrassing. Alright, well, I'm gonna start off with one of my biggest embarrassing moments. It was mostly me just being an idiot.
I love those moments.
Yeah, aren't they great? I was a sophomore in high school and I was taking a theater class, and I had the biggest crush on this one kid. Like, from day one, I was like, holy crap, this man is God. Like, he is gorgeous.
God.
And he was super funny, super attractive, and like I was instantly attracted to him. So we had an assignment where we had to choose a monologue, and which one we had to study and then perform like a week after or something like that. So the class was separated into 3 groups, and I was in the same group as my crush. And the groups were just supposed to go up and pick their monologues. It was just so the table wouldn't be crowded. So we go up and I'm searching through these monologues and I find a monologue that's about forgetting someone's name when they're on a date. And I thought it was super funny, and I kind of talked to myself too. So I just kind of mumbled, oh, this is so perfect. And my crush comes up to me, he's like, oh, what's so perfect about it? And I was like, my crush is talking to me. What do I do? And like I literally froze there with my monologue, and like I didn't look at him. I just stared at this piece of paper, and my mind just went blank, and I just walked away. I didn't say a word to him. I was so embarrassed afterwards. Like, my crush was trying to actually have a conversation with me. He actually, senpai noticed me, and I ignored him. And I felt really, really bad afterwards because I totally blew him off.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
But I was a really shy kid in high school too, so like, I was awkward. And I feel really bad to this day, because I think he had a crush on me, but
It could have been true love.
I could have married this man, but no.
Except for if you had, you wouldn't have ever met me.
No! Not my waifu! So yeah, that was really, really embarrassing. A lot of my embarrassing moments happen in front of my crushes.
That's okay, most of mine happen in front of my boyfriends.
Oh, do you have a story?
So, one that I've always remembered and that I get laughed at for a lot is, me and this guy had just barely started dating. I was, I think, a junior in high school. We were on our second date. We'd gone to our school's sweetheart dance. And so, because it was a sweethearts dance, it was girls' choice. And I drove. And we had gone to a friend's house to watch a movie or do something, or we were just picking up my car or something. I honestly don't remember. But me and him are both, I'm in my nice little dress, and my nice dress, he's all dressed up in a suit. We're driving home and I get pulled over.
Oh no!
And the car I had at the time, the driver's side window actually didn't roll down all the way at one time.
That's scary.
And so we're sitting on the on-ramp to get onto I-15 with the cop behind me. The cop's telling me I need to roll down my window more. I can't roll down my window more. We can't open the door because we're on the frickin' on-ramp. And so cop's sitting there talking to me about it. My boyfriend at the time was sitting there trying not to laugh at me. And I'm sitting there dying.
I don't know what to do.
I got pulled over for an illegal turn.
I guess another story I have with another crush. I don't know if I've already told you this, but I had another crush in high school. He had a brother and he was his twin, so it was like double hotness. It was so amazing. Anyways, so it was early in the morning and I was just getting to school, and me and this guy who I really, really liked, kind of right at the same time we were heading toward the doors. And the doors of my high school, they're, the regular double doors that you open and close and whatever. So we go up to the door and he's a gentleman and opens the door for me, and I'm just kind of like transfixed by this beautiful man. And I start walking and I run right into the other door that was closed. And I just kind of like, I pretended like nothing happened. I was like, oh, thank you. And I just walked through the door and ran to the bathroom and like cried because it was so embarrassing.
Oh boy.
I don't know if it's an embarrassing moment, but I had like an awkward moment. It was an entire day that was just awkward.
Okay, let's hear while I think of other ones.
All right, so so my friend had a really big crush on this one kid, and she wanted to ask him on a date. And of course, being stupid Utah high schoolers, the only dates that we went on were dance dates.
In those you had to ask fancy.
Oh yeah, and it was a girl's choice dance. It was the Christmas dance.
Okay.
And so she did not want to go on this date alone. And so she was asking me, she's like, you gotta ask someone, or I'm gonna end up being alone with this guy. I really, really like him, and we kind of talk to each other, but it'll be really awkward if it's just the two of us. And so she was begging me to go find someone to ask on a date. Now at the time, being the awkward, quiet, don't talk to anyone, I hate the world girl that I was, I didn't know any guys to ask. And so she kind of pointed someone out just randomly in the crowd. It's like, oh, you should just ask that guy. And it was a guy that I kind of knew all through elementary school and junior high. And I was like, well, I don't really know him. Like, I know his name and I know like his interests and stuff because we grew up together, but we don't really talk to each other, so that'd be kind of weird. Anyway, long story short, I ended up asking this guy that I barely knew out to a dance. And the way that I asked him was I filled his room with balloons. They were filled with confetti, and one of them had my name in it, but I also had to add a picture of myself because I wasn't sure if he knew who I was. And so that was just weird. So I'm sure he has a picture of me somewhere, unless he tossed it, which I hope he did. And so he replied and he said yes because he was nice, and we went on this group date. So it was me and this dude, the girl that had a crush on the guy, and then just some random other person that was in my math class.
Alright.
Like, nobody knew each other, it was super awkward, and like we didn't know what we were doing, and like even at the dance, when we were dancing, we wouldn't talk, we would just like
stare
look over to the side and be like,
you do at a steak dance and you don't know the guy who asked you, and you're like,
I've got something to say to you.
please don't make eye contact, I only said yes
Don't look
because I
at
felt bad.
Yep.
And just like the entire date was like that, and I even got sick on our day activity.
Aww.
Like near the end of the day, I like puked, and it was really, really bad. I didn't puke on him, thankfully. I made it to the bathroom, but like I was just sick the entire time.
That sucks.
And funny enough, the guy that I went on a date with ended up dating the girl in my math class. Like a week after. I'm like, oh, awesome! I'm just playing Cupid for everyone.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it wasn't really an embarrassing moment, but like everyone was super uncomfortable, and it was awkward.
Actually reminded me of one. So my first day, my very, very first day ever, was me asking this guy I barely knew but decided I really liked. Power of persuasion. My friend told me that he liked me, and so I'm like, yay, now I like him! Because 16, why not?
Yeah, I was the same way. It's like, oh, this guy likes me, well, he must be hot if he likes me.
Pretty much, we actually ended up dating for about a year.
Oh, well, there you go.
And we're still really good friends.
That's awesome.
So anyways, when we actually met and started hanging out, we were on a school trip to San Diego. And one night, me and my friends were sitting in my hotel room, talking about it, and I decided I'm gonna ask Chris out to the MORP dance. And so, because we were on a trip, I didn't have a whole lot of ways to ask him fancily. So I wrote, will you go to MORP with me, on a piece of paper, and stuck it under his door to his room. And I told him to go find the girl in the blue swimsuit because we were all going swimming anyways, and I was trying to be clever and cute and flirtatious, which I am not. At least not when I want to be.
Me neither, I'm just weird and like, I like you.
Yep. So we dropped that off, went swimming. Chris came down to the pool and looked at me and he's like, Erin, did you leave a note under our door? asking someone to the dance. I'm like, yeah, it was for you. He goes, oh, you forgot to put the name on it. I'm like, oh, yeah, it was for you. I mean, he ended up saying yes, and we ended up dating about a year later.
Oh, there you go. It worked out in the end.
It was. I was embarrassed for like the next 20 minutes. I was just like, I can't believe I was stupid enough to forget to write his name on it. Knowing that there are 3 other guys. No, there are 5 other guys, because it was a suite, and so they had 6 people in a room. So yeah, that was how my first date went. He was also my first kiss, which was also awkward.
It wasn't awkward!
No, not him. This one, we'd been dating maybe through 2, 3, 4 months. And one night he'd been at my house, we'd been watching a movie. So, as he was leaving, we were standing out by his car talking for a minute, and we gave each other a hug, and I looked at him for a minute, I kissed him, and then booked it as fast as I could into my house.
Didn't take the kiss and leave!
That's all I did. I said nothing to him, and I just booked it into the house as soon as I kissed him.
That's awesome. That's so awkward. I love it. Oh my. Well, I do kind of have an embarrassing moment, but it wasn't, I witnessed it, but it wasn't me.
Tell it!
Does that count?
Yes, tell it.
Okay, so my friends were weird. Like, really, really weird and like socially unacceptably weird.
Aren't we now?
But we're a little bit more, actually, I don't know. I couldn't tell ya.
We are not
Probably
allowed.
not.
We should not be allowed out in public.
Anyway, so the same friend that I went, so me and the same friend who wanted to ask this guy out to the Christmas dance, whatever, so at this point, she really liked this one guy that was the nephew of one of her neighbors, if that makes any sense. And he'd come over every once in a while, and she would try so hard for him to like notice her and like take an interest in her. And we don't know how to talk to guys in high school. When we were in high school, we had no idea.
24 and I don't know how to talk to guys.
I have a better idea, but I'm still.
Me talking to guys is insulting them.
There you go, you big duty brain.
Not Heather insults.
But she wanted to figure out how to get this guy to notice her. And her way of that, so she was really good friends with this one boy. And the way that she went up and asked, she went up to this one guy, just like marched up to there, super confident, and it's like, how do you turn a guy on?
Don't ever do that.
He just stood there like, I could see it on his face. It took him a second to process what she just said, and he's like, you flip the switch? Like, I don't know. What kind of question is that?
I'm like, yeah, I don't know what turns on other guys.
And I was just like, I probably made it even worse because I was like just dying in the background, just laughing so hard. This poor kid has to suffer through this question, and she just wouldn't let him go. She's like, how do you turn a guy on? I won't let you go until you tell me how to turn a guy on. And he's like, I don't know, leave me alone. And so it was kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, I just laughed the entire time because it was so horrible and funny. I feel really bad for the guy. And the guy that she asked to had a friend who was just kind of standing there awkwardly like, can we leave?
That's where you just walk away.
I know, for real. If someone asks you a weird question like that, don't take that. Just walk away.
Like, honestly, trying to answer that or deal with that will make it so much worse.
I know.
For you and the person.
I don't know what to say.
I have one. This one kind of spans over like years and years.
Do tell. Okay, well, I don't know how embarrassing it was, but for me, it was super embarrassing.
Okay.
Okay, so I used to work for a little toy store that had a plumbing problem. So like every summer the pipes would heat up and the sewage pipes that went to the store just like reeked of like baked poop. And it was disgusting. Like the entire store would just smell like crap. And it was super bad. But we had gotten a guy to come in and, you know, kind of fix the pipes so it didn't smell as bad.
Okay.
So this one day I go into work and you know, it's not smelling as bad as it usually does. Like you kind of smell a hint of it, but it's just not really there. So I was behind the counter. I was working in the store alone. And you know, I was just kind of messing around, and this was back when I was really into Snapchat. And I was Snapchatting with my sister. It's a Snapchat story.
Snapchat.
So I was trying to think of some really funny, weird things that I could send to my little sister, because that's who I only Snapchat. And I was like, you know, I think it'd be super funny if I took a picture of me sniffing my pits and just sent it to her. And so I was, you know, I was at the front desk and I had my camera in front of me and I had my armpit up just like sniffing my pits. And where the desk is located is right next to the front window. And I see someone pull up and I was like, oh crap, I gotta pretend like nothing happened. And I look a little closer and it's my boss. And so I'm trying to act cool, like I kind of knew she saw me, but at the same time was trying to pretend like she didn't. And so my boss comes in, she, you know, kind of leans on the desk and is like, so, how's the plumbing? Is it smelling bad? I was like, no, it's not as bad as it usually is. You know, it's been actually pretty nice. And she's like, okay, is it hot in here? And at that very moment, I knew she saw me sniffing my pits and I was like, crap! But I decided not to say anything. It's like, no, it's okay. I'm fine. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm okay. She's like, all right, well, if you need anything, I'll be upstairs in my office. And I was like, dang it! My boss saw me totally checking my pits. And I was super embarrassed.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I got over it. Anyway, grand finale.
So, I'm not sure this one's embarrassing as more as it is awkward. So when I was I believe we were in 5th grade, it was 5th grade, we used to play tag a lot at recess. And there's like 4 or 5 girls that would play, and this one boy that would play that we never actually really liked.
The one awkward kid that
he was. He's a sweetheart. He was just that awkward little boy.
I was that awkward little girl.
And so we always, so was I. We always did this thing where we would pretend that we're not it and tag him. Anyways, for some odd reason, we were mean to him. We were really mean to him. So anyways, me and him always ended up being reading partners for some reason. I don't know how that worked out because our names are nowhere near each other. And he'd always ask me to come over to his house because his parents were getting a new house and he wanted me to see it. And I kept telling him no. And so eventually he moved into his new house and I never really saw him again because he wasn't in my school anymore. Fast forward to senior year of high school. He is in my high school. He went to high school with me.
Oh gosh. Hey, remember that time I totally ditched you?
In high school. Well, and in high school, most of my friends were about a year older than me. They all graduated about a year before me. There were 3-4 of us that hadn't graduated yet. And he knew the 3 friends I actually hung out with on a daily basis at school, and he started sitting with us at lunch.
Oh. Was he any more awkward than he was in elementary?
No, he's actually really sweet now.
Oh,
but
okay, good.
One of the first days he saw me, he goes, so hey, do you remember when I always tried to get you to come over to my house? And you would always like be so mean to me at tag? And I'm like, oh my gosh.
You remember me as a jerk? No.
I'm like this terrible little kid. And I had really low self-esteem when I was younger because I got bullied a lot. I'll admit it, I got bullied.
You and me both, girl.
I got bullied all the way up until high school where I just stopped caring.
I'm sorry.
And so my self-esteem was shot and I was that little girl that wanted to please everybody and have friends, and so I did stupid things that people told me to do.
Your friend.
Your hair would look great on my wall. So yeah, that's my embarrassing story. I think that's all we're gonna do for today. Tell us what kind of story times you want to hear about. She wants to do one where I tell you about all my weird dreams because my freaking subconscious is psychotic.
I love dreams. I think they're so interesting and to like analyze and see what they mean. And I would love to have Erin's dream analyzed. So if anyone who is like a dream interpreter, please watch that video because I would love to know what's going on in my lovely friend's brain. And in mine too.
So let us know in the comments below what other kind of story time you want to know, what other videos you want us to do. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Dream!